So welcome back, listeners. This is Torben Anderson. I'm your host for Rewired for Success. If you are a business owner that wants to take true control of your business and rewire yourself for scale-up success, then you have come to precisely the right place. Whether you're a startup, you're an established business, or you're just looking to get ready to scale, then this is for you. You have many podcasts you can listen to, and so I really do appreciate you coming on here and listening to today's show. Today will be a continuation, a series of interviews, and I'm really going to be very proud to present in a moment somebody I got to meet last year. We were both in the foundation together, and you know, we did lots of different things in terms of trying to get stuff off the ground, lots of technology projects, and I'm going to let him in a moment kind of talk about what he's up to. But I'm really excited about that, and because we haven't connected for a while, I'm super excited to find out what's happening. So we'll talk about our sponsor for today's show at the end, Process Street. We use Process Street to, map out all our processes at Rewired, to do all our checklists, and it's a great tool. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. So again, thanks for listening. I'm Torben Anderson. I'm the host for Rewired for Success, and today I'd like to present Stephen Bradeen. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Torben. Yeah, what a fun journey we've been on from the foundation when we were just trying to figure out a way to get out of those pesky 9-to-5 jobs, or in my case, 9-to-11 job, and find our way in entrepreneurship. What a great year! So it's pretty cool to talk to you in this context.
Yeah, great. And so, Stephen, how's it been going for you? I'm really stoked to find out. Last time we spoke, you were just setting out, but how are things going now?
Wow, man, it is crazy. I feel like all the way up until the foundation, life moves so slow, in this soul-sucking job really is the best way really to describe it. Just something I felt I was doing, working in film, completely off purpose, not really feeling expressed or fulfilled, and to be able to invest in myself and the foundation and meet people like you. I've been able to start a chatbot agency and get into some tech ops consulting. And I've actually been doing some coaching as well for people who are also trying to start chatbot-based businesses in the Bot Academy, where I started out learning and just trying to put one step ahead of the other. So, throughout this year, I was able to quit my job and scale my companies into 6 figures and work from home and leave that old job behind. That's kind of the short version, and I'm sure we'll get into some fun details in the next little bit.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's get into some detail, but just for our listeners, what's a chatbot? And just so they've got that in their mind. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So what we're doing is we're specializing in Facebook Messenger chatbots. So we're creating segmentation funnels, qualifying prospects, where it's basically a service that is generating much more open rates and click rates and basically communicating and educating prospects in a fun way. So you can, bring your hot leads to buy, bring your warm leads, maybe do a webinar, and bring your cold leads into an educational sequence that all happens in Facebook Messenger. And the power of that is that any of your communications from your business are going right to their phone, right to Messenger on their cell phone, so that they can view your content at times that are convenient to them. In a world where we want everything not now and to learn at our convenience, these chatbots are really helping businesses grow. I think that's probably an adequate explanation without it actually showing one on a demo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, great. Maybe we'll see if we can include a link. So that would be great. So your journey from, as you said, leaving that, life-sucking job,
Yeah.
What made you do that? What was your why? What was your passion around getting into chatbots, or at least getting out of that job?
Well, that's a really good question. I feel like for me, I was just didn't know I just had the job I was doing was an assistant director on film sets. So, a little bit about that. It's really long hours, like at times up to 18, 20-hour days. You're working at nights outside. I live in Canada, so it's freezing cold in the winter and you're working outside. And it just wasn't something that had brought me any fulfillment in my life. So, I was just kind of getting angrier and angrier, not, just, when you're spending your whole day doing something you don't like, because it pays the bills, I think that's probably natural and something that a lot of people can relate to. So what happened was a really close friend of mine who I had met in university, we'd read the 4 Hour Work Week and always had these entrepreneur dreams that we never really could put it together. He took this really brave step and went and did this course, this personal development seminar called the Landmark Forum. And within 6 months, he had quit his job, moved to California, found the love of his life, and started a business. And he had just kind of disappeared. He just left Toronto. He went to California. And I was like, oh my God, man. When I talked to him, and really caught up when he came back to visit me, I was like, holy, that was 6 months and you did all that? I can't believe it. So I did the same development seminar, and lo and behold, the next week I saw that ad for the foundation, and I had heard a Dane Maxwell podcast like a year earlier, and he was talking about how he didn't have a passion for business, but he had a passion for solving problems and helping people. And I just related to that so clearly and identified as like, wow, that's how I feel. I feel like I don't really have a real outlet yet. Like I feel like I'm smart, but I don't really know what to do I really don't know what to do. So it just seems super clear that, taking that course would be a great way to invest in myself and take that next step. And that's kind of how it started.
Great. And so just taking that forward now, what's your, you said you were stepping into that. What's your true passion right now? What is firing you up?
Yeah, definitely. I have really enjoyed working with coaches who have a huge impact on the world. One of my consulting clients, Maston, he is an absolutely phenomenal person, and he's having this huge impact on the world. And if I can say that I help coaches have impact through tech, that and scale their impact and reach more people, that's something that has become a real passion for mine, because I know that a lot of coaches out there, they're really able to help people, and I know I've had a lot of coaches that have helped me, like I just mentioned, and the ability to help them scale their message and their ability to connect with people and push people through resistance, that has been super rewarding to see unfold.
Great. And what has that meant for you? How's that translated into your business?
Well, basically, we have kind of essentially, speaking of in terms of my consulting client, I've been able to grow into learning a lot of different marketing automations and strategies on top of chatbots. Learned a lot of different things moving into more and more artificial intelligence and how that's able to kind of scale coaching. Because one of the things about coaching is it's hard to scale your time, right? Like there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so many people you can talk to and really connect with and help move resistance for them. And I found that with using technology creatively, you're able to help people move without always having to be there yourself.
Great. And what's really important to your journey right now?
What's really important? Well, at the moment, what comes up with that question is just, I feel like this year I've been able to really make huge strides financially, make huge strides in business. But so next for me is health and well-being. I'm doing something right now called that I got from one of my best friends who I was speaking about earlier, Sunny, who's a coach, and he calls it superhero habits. So right now I'm doing 66 days of superhero habits. So the PlayStation is unplugged. I'm working out every day. there's a number of things in that. I'm eating cleaner. So I actually bought this really great product called Viome, which basically helps you analyze your unique gut bacteria so that you can find out what specifically to your body is healthy. So I'm really working on the health and fitness side of my life and adding that layer on top of the business success I've had this year.
Great. Yeah, I've heard of Viome. It's something I've been thinking of trying out myself.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Great. So, just going more around, what are you busy with at the moment, and what do your customers look like?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've really learned this year is, I work with a business partner, Andrew, who's really amazing, particularly in sales. And one of the things we're focusing on is really focusing on one market. So we've been serving real estate, car manufacturers and dealers, coaching, all kinds of different markets. And so what we're really focusing on now in business is really creating a launch for one market. So I recently was lucky enough to go to the product launch formula by Jeff Walker. It was an event in Phoenix a couple of weeks back. And I learned an entire method of selling and marketing through having product launches and going through product launch cycles. And so what we're really focused on is diving deep into coaching and having launches to solve all their pains, where they can come in and see and get content and a product that helps them scale their message. So that's really what we're really focused on doing. And we're going to do 1 launch, 2 launch, 3 launch, however many launches it takes. Because if there's one thing I feel I've identified, is that something all the big boys are doing, it's doing these launch cycle sales.
Great. And I mean, you've scaled really quickly, and from when we last spoke, and I love what you've done around, chatbots and how you're talking about where that's all going. But, for the listeners, we're really passionate about, the people, process, and technology part, and how you achieved that. So I'm quite keen to know, how did you find the journey about, building your team and the processes and the technology around that? What do you think is important for your business, and what do you think, listeners can take from that?
Yeah. So if there's one thing that probably took me too long to implement, which is definitely something that maybe people who are kind of solopreneurs or getting into entrepreneurship should maybe start sooner than later, is getting all of your ideas and systems and business into a project management software. So I use Asana. And the minute we started making standard operating procedures and writing down the best way to take a client from cold to a sales call to onboarding to management, and we started writing those things down, you could really see your whole business at a different level. And instead of being so stuck in it, just going task after task and sometimes doing a lot of repetitive tasks, you can take this whole 500-foot view and see where it's going and really start to steer the ship. So I would definitely recommend creating processes and project management softwares, and that really segued easily into the part 2 of that question, where it's helped me get out of building all of the bots. So I like to have a hand in building every single bot that we develop, because I just feel that's right. And then and my feedback and expertise from doing this all year is super crucial to that. But we do have bot makers that help build out the frameworks and build out parts of the bot, and then we give feedback so that we can iterate and scale. So if we start in Asana doing standard operating procedures and move into actually having managing your entire team there, it's a really easy segue to scaling.
Fantastic. That's really good. And I mean, I've loved watching your journey from, nothing to where you are right now. It's less than a year, isn't it?
It's I think about a year, maybe just less than a year since I had my last day in film. at the moment.
Great.
Yeah.
So he caught you on a good day, man. That's
Yeah,
great.
sure did. Really,
So,
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, so just some hot seat questions for you here that we ask all the guests on the show.
Mhm.
What is the one thing from your perspective that people fail to do when they go out and choose a new technology, either for their business or for their customers? What is the one thing that they fail to do?
Well, for their customers, I'm going to look at this as maybe the most important thing is to really know your customer avatar and know who you're going to be talking to and what their unique pain points are, and and to just make sure that your software is solving those pains fully. It's
Mm,
really difficult to like get really into a software and then realize, oh my God, this really key feature or benefit that my customer really desperately needs isn't available. And it was easily would have been available with that other software if we had started there. Um, I think that for yourself and your customers, you really should test multiple softwares and make sure that or have a full understanding. I find I do so many software demos. I'm making sure I'm asking the right questions. I'm not just like doing a free trial. I'm trying to get a demo and ask the questions and have my list of pain points I'm solving, and make sure it's a fit. Because it's always harder to switch later. If you know what I mean.
yeah, totally. I mean, this is really important for our listeners. Don't get sort of mesmerized by the pretty flashy software out there. This is really about, if your supplier is not asking you those deep questions like Stephen's doing, if your suppliers are not doing that, they're not getting to the pain, they're not getting into the detail, and they're not getting to know really what you need. And so that's super cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Your favorite technology tool and why?
Well, I think that I'm basically obligated to say ManyChat, because that is the
Okay.
software that I obviously in the Bot Academy with Andrew Warner was the first software I really learned and got good at and was able to turn into something that earned money for my business. So ManyChat is an awesome chatbot building tool. If you're getting started in technology or in entrepreneurship, it is super easy to learn. They even have a free course, or you could do a more kind of in-depth course with the Bot Academy if you really wanted to dive in. And obviously I always recommend the Bot Academy because it's just way more detailed and you actually get coaching as well. And the community is amazing, similar to the foundation, as a lot of us actually did that course. And they primarily focus on ManyChat as that tool. For that reason. Yeah.
Great. So, Bot Academy, that's for people that want to start their own businesses like you do.
Yeah. Because, basically when in Bot Academy, you get the coaching and you get the modules to go through to learn how to build bots effectively. And you learn how to use Chat Fuel, which I would say is a tool that is more suited to people with development experience. It's a little, there's a little bit more of a learning curve. Its backend functionality is amazing, and with ManyChat, it's a little easier to learn and can get you some really great results for your clients quickly.
Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll have to tell Andrew I say how's it. That will be good. And I remember Mikkel from ManyChat, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's excellent. He's super hands on with his product, and he really one thing I love about him is he is super in tune with the customer experience. He is always watching the forums and the comments and taking the feedback, and you can tell in his product roadmap as they've like come out with different tools, like it's always the thing that you wish they had, and they all of a sudden it's right there.
Mm.
So he's just doing a fantastic job with that product, and it's really great to use.
Great. So, from your perspective, what would you say is the next big thing in tech?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's kind of the already big thing in tech, but um, tools that use artificial intelligence to automate systems and even automate customer service or sales. Those are that I was reading an article today that it's like already going to be in the trillion in the next few years. in that industry, and particularly technologies that use AI assist to have conversations on behalf of a business as good or better than a human. Um, that is in the future, that like happening right now, and I've been doing a lot of demos with these kinds of companies, and it's pretty remarkable how far along AI is, and it's a lot further along, I think, than people might expect. I've been lucky enough to see some of the best AI tech in the world up front, and without going into too much detail, it's pretty amazing stuff to see. It's going to change the world, that's for sure, and I think in a really positive way.
Great, yeah. I mean, that's what people always think about. What's the next question? Is this a positive or negative thing? So how do you think about that?
Well, I think it's really easy to go all Terminator and Skynet and, oh, he's going to take over the world and we're all going to be like in bunkers and fighting machines. It's really easy to have that feeling, but that's just not the case. If anything, I think that AI will help us solve problems, and it'll just create new jobs, and maybe even ones that are more fulfilling for us. So human beings don't have to be widgets. Something I hear a client of mine say all the time, which I love, is just, the tasks that people that are like moving data, or, that really should be automated, if that makes sense. Those will go away, and people will just be, creative strategy like thinkers. And I think that's always more fulfilling when you can get creative.
Great. That is exactly the way Rewired we think about that as well, as and that's a great description of it. No, nobody wants those as you say, those repeatable jobs. If we can have some assistance with doing that, that gives us the time and space to be more creative.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
like what problems could we solve if we were actually free from that, right? Like there's lots of big problems that there aren't answers for, and I know that you probably agree that entrepreneurs are the people that are solving those world problems, and the more assistance they can get and clarity, the better a place the world will be to live. So
great. Well, Stephen, thanks so much for coming on. How do people get hold of you?
Yeah, people can get a hold of me. That's a really good question. I could say my email, if anybody wanted to reach out and talk chatbots, is my name, Stephen Bradeen @gmail.com, and people could reach out. And I love talking about chatbots. I try to get on with someone almost every day to either help or just be of service. So they could definitely reach out.
Great. Well, really, really good to catch up again, Stephen, and thanks so much for coming on. Any final thoughts?
Just I know that this is something you're doing and interviewing me, but it's just been amazing watching you grow as well. And I've been love seeing your story. And I remember talking to you, and you being in your old job, and just like the feeling, and just seeing like those big moments in your progression as well has been unbelievable to watch. So it's just awesome seeing you in this context and having this discussion at a high level, and just thinking back to like January 1st, 2017, or January 7th or something, where we all met, and it was just so much unknown, and there's so many goals and so many dips and frustration and lows, and now it's mostly more highs. So it's just awesome. So thank you for having me on.
No, thank you, man. I love your energy. Really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks again, man. Take care.
Cheers. Thanks,
Cheers.
Torb. Bye.
Cheers. Hey, so Rewired listeners, I hope you enjoyed that show. Steve and I got to know each other last year, and I hope you really enjoyed learning a little bit about his journey as an entrepreneur, and touching a little bit on chatbots. And I know we didn't go into a lot of detail, but we'll include some links in the show notes. But it's a fantastic way to build your marketing up. But of course, there's many applications for chatbots. And if you just want to talk, if you just want to know more about chatbots, follow the links in these show notes, or just hit me up on social. Always happy to jump on a call, 20, 30-minute call. We can talk about your strategy. And if we can help you, fantastic. If we can't, we'll definitely try and find somebody in my network that can solve your problems. So for now, That's Rewired for Success. We are sponsored today by Process Street. At Rewired, we use Process Street to map out our standard operating procedures. It's a fantastic tool. You can create your processes end to end. You can keep them up to date. Your whole team collaborate on those processes, and you can easily print them out and create kind of checklists and things that you can easily use. It's particularly good if you've got new people coming into your business who need to quickly learn about what makes you unique, your DNA in particular. Now, this is an affiliate link. Just want to say that up front, so feel free to use it or not. But if you do, I really appreciate it because it does sponsor this show. And again, if at all you want to jump on a call, please let me know. Thank you so much for joining. Take care.